Oh man. Oh, it's really good. Family tree. Yeah, buddy. Listen, we're here now, baby. We're here. Alright. So right about now, as your screen is dark and it's black, that means I'm in my chill down zone. And I want to make sure that I give my community the opportunity to actually have some fun and get it in. All right. Shouts out to you, Terrence. So yeah, if you guys would like to come in, have some fun with us, and join the chat, let me know. Okay, let me know. Inbox me and all that good stuff. I got EBTV with me. Hey, yo, Gabs, make sure you turn off your. We ain't trying to see your naked, sexy body right now. No homo, baby.
Yeah. I,
But
how do you turn off this notification? Because it's jarring, bro.
sorry.
How do I turn off this notification stuff, man?
So what you do is put your phone on silent. Number one, yeah. Put your phone on silent, and then any notifications won't vibrate. But we live right now. We're live right now.
Oh wow.
Just putting it out there. We're actually live. All right. So yeah, family, we're actually live. So yeah, fam. What I'm saying is this, yeah. Any topics that you guys would like to discuss, this show is actually dedicated to you guys. What that means is I'm gonna be in the background, and I'm just gonna make sure that things are running smoothly, and you lot can bring up any topics you so choose, and we go wherever you guys want to go. What's good, man? Like, has academic screening. You got Omar Ali, you got Jay Boogie Kiss Spence, Joe D's in the building. Come on, family. Come on. We got all these people in the building. I'm glad to see all the likes, but hit us up with some more likes if you can. And let's get it, all right? Let's get it. So yeah, Kelly Arms has joined us as well. So yeah, family tree. Um yeah. All right. I don't know Lily watched Times TV. I like your vids. All right, that's good. That's all good. So yeah. All right. 11th like. I guess yeah, Hassan, you're number 12 like. All right. So yeah, that's good, man. If you're not gonna hit the like button, just say what number you are. That's sweet. That's cute, man. I like that. All right. Can you talk about Adrad says, can you talk about Sunday when you was at Speaker School and you dropped knowledge on the black Muslims and they was triggered? Yeah, for real. There was quite a lot. There was quite a lot that actually stated, in that particular video. I don't know. I have to just pinpoint on just one topic. Just like which one was really hit home to you. Which one was impactful that you would like to speak about, or you would like us to speak about. Just choose one.
Hello.
Me, I'll go on like a mad tirade of just going in. Oh man, the Henry Ebb has donated and states support Titans TV. Question, is it okay to be gay in Islam? Wow. All right, that's a good question. Um, so if we've got any Muslims on here, that's a good question to answer or to ask. And the short answer is, yeah, it actually is okay to be gay in Islam. Unfortunately, um, I don't have. Usually, I come up with the facts and the figures. And today, I'm not actually going to give you any facts and figures. What I will do, um, potentially, to Mufti Abu Layth. Okay, Mufti Abu Layth speaks upon it, and you have other Muslims in the speakers' corner that speaks about it, talking about a certain group of, I think they called it the Makdums or something like that. Okay, I personally haven't read it inside of the Islamic text, but other individuals have stated that they've read through the history of Islam, and it was something that was quite prevalent. There are a lot of homosexuality taking place amongst the aristocrats or the elites, and the only thing is behind closed doors, but just not in public. So yeah, there is a taboo about homosexuality, but it is quite prevalent within some of the Islamic world. You have things such as the Bachi boys. Is it the Bachi boys or the Bachi Baza? So you have a lot of those things, taking place. I can't say that, it is something that is condoned by text or, Quranic text. It's not condoned that I'm aware of, but it's something that does happen, has happened throughout the history, and has been given like we'll look away whilst you're doing what you're doing, but we will still comment on it. Oh man like Sarah, controversy is on trill. All right, so yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Unless we get some Muslims in the mix, who know about this topic and are feeling freely to, conversate about it. Yeah, another person, could possibly ask Paul Williams. He speaks about this as well. So, just free up your mind and just open up. And, if you really want to know the answer, there's a lot of individuals at Speaker's Corner and, people like Mufti Abul Layth and others who sexuality. Me personally, I haven't read anything about it, so I'm not going to speak on it in that capacity. So yeah, all right. So you saying though, my far too long. I know you must have some topics just brewing in the back of your brain, or videos, and you just want to say a couple things. Let me know.
All right, bro. Yo, Cam.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, sir. I was waiting for you to finish. Yeah, I actually checked that video today. With you and the two black Muslim brothers at Speaker's Corner. I swear, I was not amused, bro. I was not amused. I didn't understand. I was watching and I was just thinking, seriously, are these guys being for real? Like, when you're trying to explain the stuff in the hadith, was it the hadiths in the Quran? With regards to what was it about again? Was it about Moses or something? No, the prophet. The
Um,
prophet.
yeah,
Um,
the prophet. One of the major arguments was speaking about the prophet being affected by magic.
yeah,
Is
being
that the one?
affected by. Yeah, was there 2 points? There's one about them, or was that the main one about him being affected by magic?
So you kind of just skipped out. So there was, him being affected by magic. The
Yeah.
beginning of the discussion that was caught on camera was us speaking about Jesus and, why did he say, God, why have you forsaken me whilst he was on the
Oh,
cross? It seems
yeah,
as though, that was like right at the beginning.
yeah.
A lot of it was missed out though, but, that was one of the conversations that we did have.
Yes, that was the
And
one. The
the
one about
traveler came.
Jesus. Basically, that one was basically going into the whole thing about the Trinity again. Like, why, if Jesus is God, why was he doing this? And the brother, the Muslim brother was saying, oh, that's a small G. Yeah, when it says the bit about ye are gods, it's a small G. That every time I hear do you know how many times I've heard that conversation when people say there's a small G? When you go to the Hebrew, there's no upper lowercase. So this small G that people keep talking about when they're reading the English, like, oh yeah, it's a small G, it's not a big G. It doesn't make no sense. There's no upper lower case. Small G, big G is the same thing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same with the Greek as well.
It's the same, bro. It's the same thing. So that's why that whole Trinity thing, yeah, it's so draining. I don't know. It always seems to be the same old topic that goes on that Speaker's Corner, because I think that is the main pivotal reason. Like I think I might have said this before a while ago. I think that's the main pivotal reason why people either leave Christianity and convert to Islam, because of this topic of the Trinity. Where you have a couple of brothers asking Christians that really don't know that much about their scriptures and tell you, do you know, actually, Bunny, this is what I've seen at Speaker's Corner. I'm gonna say I don't care, man, because that's another reason why I haven't even been there too tough. Mainly because I've been busy, but another reason why it's the same. It's like going there and just watching deja vu. It's the same thing happening over and over again. You remember, like when you're young, and they just put reruns of the same old program that you like, and just thinking, do you know what? I used to like this program, but now it's just boring now, man. They keep repeating the same show. Bro, this is the same thing what I feel like at Speaker's Corner. When I go down there, what do I see? Muslims and Christians battling, new Christians that come down to the park. I can see some of the Muslim brothers there, stalking and going straight for the Christians that they know. They have a little conversation with them when they know little of their scriptures. Then the first thing that comes up the Trinity, you know, the God, da, 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 da. Because that's what happened. And when I saw it with the video, I think it was it Hashim? No. That was another video. Hashim, Hamza, and this is when Bob the Builder jumped in. That was a big video still with Bob. I like him still. Yeah, I like that. That video got a thumbs up for me. I'm letting you people know in the audience. That got a thumbs up. Bob, well done, man, because he was in the background just stalking, listening, and saw the same thing. Hashim was about to go on another vulnerable Christian that didn't know too much about the scriptures, and I could see they was going straight into the whole thing about the Trinity. It's the same old thing, bro. Do you know what I mean? The same
Same.
old, and then once they do that, they feel like, yep, we got one on these weak Christians. Yep, look, we conquered the Trinity, and before you know it, all the people on their channels are like, yay, look, the Trinity, we've defeated the. I don't understand, why is that the only thing that they have to talk about? What about the other stuff that's happening? Like, is that all they need to deal about, the Trinity? It's just
That's all
it's
they
just
got, baby. That's all they got. Do you know
no, but
what?
what's
Yeah, let me just, can I just salute Bob? Like, I think we all just need to just pay homage to Bobby and just salute him, give him like a 10-finger salute, and just say, "Yo, you're the man, G. You're the
yeah,
man.
he's the man.
Trust
He's
me,
the man.
love you,
That was
brother. We love you."
Trust me. That was a big video. I only clocked it when I came on when you was doing a live and you spoke about it. And I was like, bro, what video is this? Because I really caught up on most of the stuff. So when I was just going through, I was just watching a few videos. I watched it. I said, yeah, that's the first time I see Hamza losing his mind. You know what it was there? I see Hamza screaming and shouting. I was thinking, whoa, what's going on there? Do you know what I mean? He was out of his comfort. Bro, I'm telling you, I was sitting with some popcorn and a juice.
Them pushed and tripped him out of his comfort zone, clean, clear.
Bro,
Hamza was triggered that day.
bro.
It was crazy to see, fam. It
Nah, Bob
was a
went in.
remarkable sight. I'm not even gonna lie, it was absolutely a remarkable sight.
Do you know why? Because that I was at first I was like, bro, what's he actually saying? But then when I actually, I actually watched the video a few times and I clocked, he was basically saying, basically show him in the Quran, where Jesus show him in the Quran, yeah, where Jesus is prophesied. Is it? No, where Muhammad is prophesied in the Bible. He said, show me. And
Yeah.
then when Hamza said it isn't there, I was like, no. It doesn't say it. So then that's basically saying. So then if it doesn't say that in the Quran, why do these people say that Jesus is prophesied in the Bible? Do you know what I mean? Why do they basically say Jesus is not Jesus, Muhammad is prophesied in the Bible? It talks about him in the Bible. Has no mention to do with it in the Quran. So why do they say it's in the Bible? Because remember, the Bible is supposed to be corrupt. Because if it is in the Bible, are they trying to say that's the only thing that wasn't corrupt, that's not corrupt, that's in the Bible, but it's not in the Quran? I'm confused. Because I thought the Quran was meant to come because the Bible was corrupted. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm with you, my brother. I'm with you.
Yeah, because if it doesn't, think about it. If he says, he said no, it doesn't say that in the Quran. Yeah, there's nothing with Jesus. Jesus being prophesied. No, why can you say Jesus? Muhammad being prophesied in the Quran. It's not there. So why is it now in the Bible, when they read the Bible that's supposedly been corrupted, they say that Muhammad is in there? This is what I was trying to get at. Is that, and this is why I was a bit confused. Do you understand my point?
Yeah, bro. This is the
Huh?
this is the absolute chaos, bro. Like
No,
funny, bro. Like just listening to some of these arguments here is mad funny. But you know what I would love for us to do, yeah? Because you know what, yeah? We don't do this, yeah. We don't disrupt them while they're actually debating and doing their thing, yeah. We don't really go out our way to correct them, yeah. But I think we spend some time, yeah, correcting these individuals, Like every time they're lying to these Christians, yeah, or doing a madness, yeah, I think we should, yeah, just put in the work. So at least, yeah, they know, yeah, that we have them on their tippy toes.
Yeah.
Let's just have them on their tippy toes. So dialogue a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
And I don't. Do you know what gets? And another thing that was another, I don't understand. Yeah, because I saw the bit as well with Ali when Ali Dawah come to you when you was trying to help you trying to basically do you doing it basically doing what you're saying, trying to help the Christian by because obviously you know the info and you can tell that that Christian probably didn't know too much. Hence, you were saying he's got an accent. He probably don't know too much, or whatever Bible he's looking at might be different. So you were trying to help, but then everyone was like, "Oh no, no, why are you trying to help?" Da, 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 da. Listen, what do you mean why are you trying to help? At the end of the day, if you're knowledgeable on some form of information, and you can see someone else like your fellow brother is not up to speed on the info, of course you're gonna come in and help. Vice versa. If it was the other way around, you do the same. Do you know what I mean? If you got knowledge and understanding of the scriptures or the text, of course you're gonna come in and help and say, "Ah, do you know what? Let me help you. You know, this is this." It just makes for a fruitful discussion, not just one way where you could clearly see someone don't understand, but because you want to score brownie points, you're just gonna keep, yeah, no, 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 don't get involved, don't help him. We want people on the camera to see that, we're knowledgeable. We need to defeat this so-called Christian. Come on, man. Come on, man. I had enough, man.
they're
So you're
just
right, man.
they're trying to score points by any means necessary. You know that, right?
It's
By
necessary.
any means necessary. Even if they know that they're lying and deceiving people, yeah, they're going to do it. It's crazy, you know.
Bro.
When Ali Dawah admit, yeah, that yeah, he's deceiving, but like rah, like yeah, it's calm. Like he's just calm to deceive people. The way he said it, like it was just blasé, like he didn't even know what he said. He just said it so blasé. I was like, wow, you lot are dangerous individuals, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got a question to ask. You know, I got a question to ask, especially my Muslim brothers and sisters. Yeah, like our Christian brothers hold the truth about the name. All right, I'm just gonna quickly do a just name right now. They got the concept of Trinity. Okay, Gabs. I don't know if you know this, but do you know what the etymology of Trinity is? Or could you just take a little stab in the dark of like if you broke up the words into two parts, what does it actually mean?
What? The word
Yeah.
Trinity?
Yeah.
As in what? As in Christian Trinity or just Trinity in itself?
So again?
What do you mean? So explain what the Trinity word means.
Yeah, if you can, if you know, if you don't know, just say I don't know. But if you take a stab in the dark, you got the word Trinity. You're like, it may come. It has two words in there. Like, would you know what those two words are?
Trinity tree. Nah, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Alright. So
Tree.
there's a few people here. So you got people like Ian Spiker. You've got who else we got here? We've got Solomon King and so forth. Distraction. A few people are saying Trinities, try unity.
Try.
Okay, try unity. So you got try unity. So you got three things. Try is three, and unity meaning to be made one. Right.
Cheese. Yeah.
All right. So that's the Christian theology. Okay, they've got an idea in theology called the Trinity. Okay, making three things into one. Now we've got the Muslim. Yeah, they've got a concept called Tawheed. Okay, I can't even say it's unique to them because you have the Ethiopian church, which is predates Islam. They had the Tawheedo church. Tawheedo literally means again the unity. So making things one or making God one, basically. Yeah. So the concept of like unity, yeah, literally means that there is more than one thing and you're one. In order to make something united, or in order to have a unity, have different parts to make up a whole. So my question to my Muslim brothers and sisters out there is this, okay? The Christians have a Trinity, okay? I want to know, okay, how many different parts, okay, that makes up the whole when it comes to your concept of God. How many parts make up the whole? All right. How many parts make up the whole? That's just my question. I don't know. I don't know if it makes any sense to anybody. But if it does, let me know and just answer the question for me, because that'd be really interesting. But sorry, you lot can talk. I just got a quick question. That's all. Joe Haslam says here, in terms of Arabic morphology, Tawheed is a variable noun or infinitive, which means to make one. Literally, that's it. To make something one. And to make something one means initially it wasn't one. If you are making something one, it means originally it wasn't one. So I want to know how many parts make up the whole. He has three parts that makes up the whole. I want to know with your concept, how many parts? Is it 2 parts? Is it 3 parts? Is it 4 parts? Is it 99 parts? Like how many parts makes up the whole? That's just a simple question. Just throwing it out there. But anyways, go ahead, Gabs, man. I know you got this. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Do you know what? Yeah, because I don't know if Vegeta or what's the other brother's name? Kayla. I don't know if they're gonna jump in and just chilling.
Yeah, what's
you
up?
know, oh, what's happening? You good, bro? Was you gonna answer something? Was you gonna answer that? I don't know.
Yeah, well, about the Trinity.
Yeah, okay, go on. Yeah, go on, bro.
I don't know. I just want to have. Give me a question about it.
Yo, can I answer that?
Oh,
In terms
okay.
of
No. Let Gabs give me a question. I will answer it.
No. I think basically Kalam just asked. Did you hear what Kalam said? Did you hear what Kalam said? The question he was just asked.
Yeah, kind of. But I was
I heard. I heard.
in the panel, but
5-second answer, man.
I
5-second answer.
can say about that the Trinity, and
Okay.
now it's like the 3-in-1 God concept, that God is 3-in-1, like the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Well, what is actually wrong about it? What actually cancels the whole concept actually is that the Holy Spirit is not even a person; it's just the energy of God. But a lot of people that claim to be Christian will not be, they won't agree with it. And if it's like, if you would refer it like the Trinity, like the cross, like they will refer to that, the cross itself is actually not even Christian as well, because it refers back to the Ankh sign of ancient Egypt. I think that's actually says enough. You can look it up, Wikipedia, go on, you see the references. Maybe that's what I have. That's said enough about it. All right, just go on, Fujita.
Vegeta. Go ahead, King. You got this now. Let's get it.
Yeah, I was saying,
But
when you worship, like, solely for Allah. So we're not worshipping different parts. We're worshipping Allah alone. That's our Tawheed. You see me? We're not worshipping a cross or a Netru or a pyramid, none of that. Worshipping Allah directly, khalas. You see me?
Okay.
can,
So the question is, okay.
yeah,
The question
let's
is,
say ask that again because I don't think the brothers heard properly.
okay, so the question is, we're not talking about worship, anything like that. We're just simply asking, okay, the concept of Tawheed, okay, is to make something one, okay, is to make something one. The concept of unity, okay, it means that there is different parts that makes up a whole. You're uniting things together. You with me? Just like a man and a woman, they come together, they're united. Or a football team comes together, they're united. 12, people, I think is it 12 or 11 people on a pitch, whatever the case is. Like, it's one. So the question is, how many parts are there in Allah or God that makes a whole or makes one? We know in the Christian ideology, there is 3 parts that makes up a one, i.e. the Trinity. So we're asking you, when it comes to Islam, okay, how many parts makes up the whole when it comes to Allah?
How many, to make it one, to make worship one? This is God. God's there to be worshipped. So to make it one God. I don't get the question. Maybe one more time. Well, you don't understand this.
I understand it, but I think Kalam, break it down one more time for the brother.
I just need to finish one thing.
Okay, brother. Okay. The question is, okay, unless I don't know if I can make it as simple as possible, okay? You've got something called Tawheed, okay? Now, my brother Joe Haslam has broken this down. All right. You've got the prefix, which is ta in Arabic, which literally is a verbal form of a person making something into something. And then you have the Arabic word wahid from wahid basically, which means one. Okay. So tawheed literally means to make something one. All right. In order for you to make something one, it precipitates or is predicated upon the fact that it wasn't originally one. Okay, it was something else. Okay, there may have been more than one thing. Okay, so how many different parts were there originally before it became one?
That's adding extra to the question, saying that originally there was more than one. But originally there was only one, Allah. So you can't you add, if you add the extra bit to it, which is not true, then obviously we can't answer that question, which would be good for you to know.
Can I ask him a question quickly?
Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Because I want to ask the brother a question. Yeah, maybe this might help him a bit. So, for instance, how many parts would you say there is that made you? Obviously.
In what way? In what way? My consciousness, my names. I got a lot of names.
Okay, so you are basically one, yeah. You're one being, but there's parts of you, things came together to make you what you are. So one being your body, yeah, your body, which consists of your mind, yeah. Your mind is part of it, so your body, your mind, yeah. Also, you would say that you have a spirit, yeah, which Allah gave to you, and would you say as well that you have a soul? Is your
mind, body, and soul, yeah.
Okay, so mind, body, and soul is what came together to make you. Is that three different things?
If you want to add more stuff to it, I've got a name, I've got a heritage, I've got progeny. You know, I've got lineage.
No, but that goes on. See all that stuff, yeah. Those are like little things that add on with the body. So once all those things come together, then you go along that journey of having a name and that. But before you get to the name and stuff, those three things need to come together. Do you see what I'm saying? So the body needs to be made, or you'd say probably the spirit was made. Yeah, the spirit is made.
Yeah.
Then body, then the mind. So mind, body, and spirit. Yeah, those are the three things. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so without the spirit, without no spirit, we don't get to the body. Without no body, we don't get to the mind. Do you see what I'm saying? So without those three things even coming together in the first place, we don't even get to your name and to your experiences and understanding these religions. So that's how I'm seeing this whole Trinity. This is how I'm seeing what Kalam's saying. It kind of makes sense in my head. Those three things need to come together. Those three things need to come together for us to have this experience.
I don't know. You're comparing your mind, body, and soul to the Trinity, right? That's what you do.
Well, going by what he's saying about tri-unity, like three things coming together to make the one. Like,
let me show you a difference, innit? Let me show you a difference.
Okay, go on.
So mind, body, and soul is one person.
Yeah.
But the Trinity is God, a character called Jesus, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay, so
then operating individually.
Okay, now but watch this. Now, now
when you're ready, yeah.
Hold on. Wait, hold on a second, bro. Let me just answer for Gia quickly, yeah. Now, what you just explained there, I'm gonna show you how what I just said earlier, how that would then fit into that. Because for first things first, is God physical? For Gia.
I don't know.
Okay. So you don't know if God is physical. Okay, is Jesus physical?
Yeah, Jesus is physical.
Okay, is the Holy Spirit physical?
I don't know.
No, because the spirit in it. It's a spirit. It's just a spirit. Yeah,
it could be physical because some say that the Holy Spirit was Gabriel. And You get me? So it could be physical.
Okay, but do you think? Is that what you believe? Do you believe the Holy Spirit is Gabriel?
I'm just saying we need to do further investigation to, or you could maybe tell me right now.
No, I'm not even forget it. I'm just going by what you know. Do you believe that the Holy Spirit is Gabriel, or do you believe it's just the Spirit?
My original answer was I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know what the Spirit is.
Nah.
Okay. Okay, so basically, from going by what you said, yeah, I see it as this: Jesus being the physical. Going back to what I said about the body, yeah. God obviously being the mind. It's not physical. That's the mind. So the three parts, and then you have the Holy Spirit being the Spirit, like I just spoke about. So you have the body, the mind, the mind. Oh no, the body, the spirit. Yeah, what was it? Yeah, mind, spirit, and the body. The same thing what I was saying. The three things that you need to put together, to create us. The things that we need. So without
Yes. So,
the body,
saying
without
Jesus
the spirit and the
doesn't have a
body.
spirit. You saying
Say-
Jesus don't have a spirit, nor does he have a mind. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying no, because I'm saying those are those three. Like I said, remember with us, I said we need these three things for us to make the whole. Without the spirit first, without the spirit, there's no body, because the spirit needs to go into a body. So the spirit needs to go enter into a body. Then when the spirit enters the body, then the mind is the third piece to it. And then after you have those three things, then you go about your human life, getting a name, understanding, learning, and all these things. Do you see what I'm saying? So mind, body, and spirit. Those are the three things. So that's the same things that I'm saying, obviously, with the Trinity, the Christian narrative. You have God. Obviously, he's not. Well, I don't know. Depending on who you're talking to, some people might think he's physical. I don't think he's physical. I'd say God is the mind, the all-powerful mind. Then you have the spirit, which is obviously put into the body. Those are the three things: mind, body, and the spirit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Does God have mind, body, and spirit? Does Jesus have mind, body, and spirit? And does the Holy Ghost have mind, body, and spirit? Or all three just have three different categories? Because if they all three have all three aspects, that's not a Trinity no more. According to your logic, that'll become 9 Trinity. Nine Unity. You know what I mean?
Bro, all I'm saying is those three things need to come together to make one. Those three things need to make one. Yeah.
Yeah, let me jump in there.
So now it's a 9 Unity. It's not Trinity no more. It's a 9 Unity.
And on that note,
said,
may I just quickly say, family, family, if I can get you guys to hit up the like button. Of course, we're going to have our trolls and our people who don't really like Titans TV, because we're here to open up your minds. They prefer for your minds to be closed. All right. They prefer for us not to question ourselves and yourselves. They prefer us to just remain silent and, and submit to whatever else they have to say. So please, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button, show your support for Titans TV, and let's get it in here, because we're currently rocking with the 9-unity. Oh man, 9-unity all day long, baby. Yeah.
9-unity.
Yes, 9. All right, let me jump. Let me jump on to Kalam's original question: is there a Trinity in Islam? Now, again, I'm not a scholar, so everyone knows this, but when you take the Shahada, isn't there 3 things you must abide by? Allah is the only one God. The Quran is the God of is the book of all the word of Allah, and Muhammad is the Rasul. Is that it, or is there more?
Nah, I think you're talking about the 3 questions to grave, but sorry, that's for Kalam, yeah? Sorry.
Kalam, Gabs, yourself, whoever.
In Sunni Islam, there's kind of more to essential components to Aqidah. Like, there's also you need to believe in the end times, and you need to believe in the angels, for example.
So, is that when you take the Shahada, you have to believe in that?
No, that's not when you take the Shahada. When you take the Shahada, you say, there's no God, Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger.
When you take the Shahada, what's the main things you have to do, or you're asked to do to become a Muslim?
You just say there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, but in Arabic.
Okay, yeah, and so how many things is that?
Let me get you Buddha, okay? So let me quickly do this. Hold on one second. there is two things, okay, that's going on here. There is a shahada, and then there is. All right, so yeah. So as you can see already, I told you, we got the Muslim trolls coming in, and I'm gonna say, yeah, to my Muslim brothers and sisters, yeah, how do you feel, yeah, that you have these particular individuals in your community, yeah, that come on to shows like Titans TV, come on to shows like Gin and Tonic, come on to shows like Uncle Ty to troll. They're there to troll, to play all different types of obscenities, play porn on our channels and so forth. How do you feel when these individuals are members of your community? Because I know how I feel when I see black people doing a hell amount of madness and stupidity. Like, I feel like I need to just crawl into a rock and just die. Yeah, but like these people are really giving.
Well, that's a loaded question.
Oh no. Hold on. And these people are giving your community a really, really bad name. Okay.
No, but truly, that's ridiculous. In every
community, really and truly, it's a rhetorical question. Yeah, I'm playing with my community right now.
No, but your entire statement just makes no sense.
Okay, please. Even though I didn't need your response, go ahead. Please tell us. Why does it make any sense?
No, because look at what you're asking. You're asking that. How do we feel about people playing porn and all this sort of stuff? Clearly, it's outside of, what we're supposed to be doing there. How can you say that simple trolls on the internet is pure Muslims, right?
How can we say these trolls are pure Muslims? We know that these individuals are Muslims. We've had them on our show various times. They're playing Islamic nasheeds. They're there attacking certain Islamic figures. They're there when we're talking about Islam. We know who these individuals are.
Kalam, in all fairness, there's a lot of people that can hide behind multiple things.
I
claim that
hear
they're
you.
Muslim or Christian or whatever it may be.
Right? I hear you, but we've spoken to these individuals before, okay? And they have identified themselves as Muslims. For any of you guys who've seen older shows where these individuals
that I am Muslim and they continue to do stupid things does not mean that they are Muslim.
Sorry?
I said just because they claim to be Muslims does not mean they are Muslims.
Okay.
I think what the important question is, if they are Muslims, do you condemn them?
Do I condemn them? Of course. Absolutely.
Case closed. Right. Done. Yeah,
Khalas, real khalas right there. So anyways,
they have no right to interfere or interrupt free speech. They should respect others, right?
Cool,
Even as outrageous as it may be, so you can have fruitful discussions and take what they can from that. Simple put.
All right, give thanks. Let's continue. I actually lost my spot. I was going somewhere, I lost it. Who's there to just remind me?
Answering my question there, Kalam.
Yeah,
what was the question again, brother? There's two things. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So there's two things, okay? In Islam, there is something called the Shahada, and there's something called the Shahadatain. Nowadays, Muslims, the Shahadatain has taken over the meaning of Shahada. So that means they now bear two witnesses. They bear the first witness, which is really and truly the Shahada, which is La ilaha illallah, meaning that there's no God except Allah. And then the second one, which is the Shahadatain, is to also add and Muhammad Rasulullah, meaning Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. So there's two things that you have to acknowledge. The first one is there's no God but God. The second one is Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Okay, and do you not have to believe that the Quran is the word of God as well?
So technically speaking, they do ask you these questions. They technically ask you about 5 different questions for those people who are good da'is and those individuals who read the script correctly. They'll ask you, if you believe that the Quran is the word of God. They will also ask you questions about the, do you believe in hell and, heaven and hell? Do you believe in the angels? Do you believe in, they'll ask you some of these questions. So there's roughly about 6 different things that they'll ask you to testify or bear witness to or acknowledge.
Okay, so it's what did you say it was, Viagra? Sixinity? It's a sixinity. Gotcha.
So yeah, it'd be a sixinity.
Kalam, can I just add to that quickly?
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. So the 6 articles of belief that kind of called are kind of what Sunni Orthodox Sunnis kind of sort of they're kind of like core components of faith. And if you kind of go onto Wikipedia and search Akida, which is spelled I'll put it in the comments, AQIDAH, then it'll say that on the like kind of further down the page. And so you can, because if you can deny one of those kind of 6 core things, then like that's something that will sort of take you out to the fold of Islam. Like if you deny, oh yeah, I don't believe there are angels, something like that, and you kind of insist upon that's what I have to say on that question.
Yo, we're saying
Yeah,
simple.
Callum, it's not fair, man. I think I should drop some Capleton, like everybody else is dropping, like, you know what I mean? Damn, man.
You know,
Find me
everybody
a
else
channel,
is
can go,
dropping these.
you need to find me a channel, I can go drop some Capleton or something.
Yeah. Oh man, we got man like Joe Haslam in the building. We got Terrence in the building already. You know it's gonna be fire. Yeah, but
Joe, you were saying the question was going over my head, but since it got to your head, man, you can't answer that for me, man. Go on.
Yeah, go on then. I was not being patronizing. I apologize if you took it offensively. So basically, the question, well, I broke down the actual linguistic meaning of Tawheed, which is a verbal noun, infinitive, form 2, if you look in Hanwar, which literally the meaning it gives is to make something. So when we have the root letters Wahid, which is one, Tawheed literally means to make one. Likewise, if you look at the Arabic word for Trinity, is Taklith, which is in the same pattern, literally to make like 3, but that's obviously an Arabic rendition of Trinity, which is unity in triplicity. Now, so the question Kalam was asking, okay, if it is to make one, then what are you making one out of? Now, such a question was actually addressed in the 200, 300 year, like 300 Hijri calendar, so 300 years after the passing away of the Prophet Muhammad. And because of influence of Greek philosophy and whatnot, such a question was arisen. And the question was asked, does God have parts? Is he a compartmentalized being? And other such notions. And usually the quote-unquote orthodox or mainstream, the predominant narrative that arose is that God is not really made out of parts. Okay, they say that the divine essence is one. However, it is colored, should I say the word colored in quotation marks, colored with multiplicity, which is the divine attributes. You know, you have the 99 names which are mentioned in the Quran, but obviously the names are not limited to the Quran. That just the 99 names are just the names mentioned in it, whereas other thinkers and mystics have said there are many infinite names. And then you also have the divine action, which is the manifestation of the attributes of God in the cosmos. Everything we see around us, etc., which is a manifestation of the attributes of the essence of the divine being. So yeah, you have this kind of 3 triplicity here as well. And interestingly, we had Muslim thinkers in the past, such as Ibn Arabi, Abdul Karim Jili, who interestingly studied with the yogis in the Himalayan mountains, who actually mentioned about Trinity and how it's actually compatible with Tawheed. Yeah, so I'm going to try to find some excerpts and see what they say and add to this conversation.
Boom. So I love, you know, I love when my intelligent Muslims come onto the panel and just drop the wisdom and the knowledge. Yeah. Why can't we get more brothers like this? Shouts out to my brother Joe Haslam that just comes in and drops the heat. Shouts out to my brother James as well. All right. So let's get it, baby. Let's get it. I'm gonna just fade out to black, but you lot get it in. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to get Saracen in the building as well. Oh man, I love this. You know, we're having conversations that could build and grow on. Let's continue with this. Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't get Joe Haslam's answer. Something about going to the mountains and with the yogis. Which yogis you talking about? Yoga?
Yeah, bro,
Yoga?
get your crayons out. I'll draw you a picture.
We say Buddha.
Hello.
Yo, real quickly. Hey, brother James, you need to just drop out one of your Yeah, there you go. Perfect. All right. So it seems though we're at a stagnant cross at present.
No, we're not. Sorry, Kalam, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go on, Gabs. Deal with them.
I don't want this. I want us to deal with this today, bro. I want us to get in. I want us to deal with this Trinity because I know Fajita does understand. I know there's something he understands what we're saying. Like this, the Trinity thing to me is just simple, bro. You know, spirit, body, mind. You know, it's three things that we all need. Yeah, the spirit, spirit we would say, yeah, is the is the thing that you say is the life force. That's the thing that that's the living thing. That's the thing that's been put into the body. Yeah. Then once the spirit is put into the body, now we can now activate the mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I don't know if maybe people on this on the panel can probably agree and say the same as well. I don't know if you heard that saying, I feel like my mind's playing tricks on me. Like, I don't know if have you ever had that feeling where, you could be standing by the edge of the road, yeah, and then it's like your mind would say, just walk in front. Or your mind would tell you to do something that you're thinking, hold on a minute, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to do that? It doesn't make no sense. What the heck? Do you know what I mean? You just think some random stuff and you're thinking, but why am I thinking that? So I see that as the spirit and the mind sometimes at loggerheads, they're at war, because certain things that the mind wants to do, but then the spirit basically trying to say, no, that don't make no sense because
you might have smoked something though. If you smoke something, you might have smoked something.
Nah, bro, stop being silly, man. You ain't smoke something. Are you trying to tell me, yeah, that you ain't done your mind ain't told you to do something that you think, no, I don't want to do that?
Sometimes I hear whispers.
You hear what?
No. Waswasa is in the Quran, talks about the devil whispering to you.
Nah,
sorry, can I just ask?
And,
sorry, I just want to ask, Gabs. So,
yeah.
Are you saying that when you have those thoughts, that's driven by God? Is that essentially what you're asking, or?
Yeah. What I would say, because obviously I wouldn't say a devil, because to me the spirit is pure, because spirit is coming from a pure source. So if the spirit is coming from a pure source, we know that the body and the mind is what's corrupt, because that's what's made. Do you see what I'm saying? The mind is activated. The mind moves on on the things that the body sees, like your eyes, what you see in our world. Yeah. So it's like the body and the mind is at war with the spirit, which is pure, because the spirit's coming from the spiritual realm. It doesn't know about the physical until it enters the body. So when you're in the spirit, that's why people say, "Oh, my mind, I'm at war with my mind," because your mind's telling you one thing, yeah, but your spirit's telling you something else. Like, no, that's not right. Like, when you say, "I felt it in my spirit," that weren't right. Go on.
Yeah, sorry, and I hear you on that, but give me like 3 minutes, because sometimes we just need to do a little bit of medicine working real quickly. Yo, Vegeta, my brother, can I just get you back on real quickly?
Go in, man.
Yeah, my brother. Yeah. Earlier on you said that you hear voices. Let's just speak about those voices that you hear real quick.
Nah. I don't hear voices, man. I'm saying, what's saying it? It's about the
No. I think we heard of the concept of waswas and so forth, but let's just talk about your voices, the waswas you hear. Could we just go into that? How often do you hear these voices?
It's not voices, it's thoughts, man. Like, when you get a crazy thought in your head, like, go and do this to somebody, or it's time to,
So go and do this to somebody.
It's
like
what
how often do you have?
Same thing.
How
Gab
often?
said.
How often do you get those thoughts?
It's like it's not thought. It's like you don't get evil thoughts.
I'm just saying that. Okay, so you get those evil thoughts, and what did it say? Go and what does it say? Go and do this to a person. What type? Give us an example of what it actually tells you to do.
Yo, man, I might put myself in prison or a mental institute, man. I'm not going to
No,
incriminate
it's
myself.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. We're all family here. This is a safety bubble that we've got going on here. Nobody will be judging you.
Man,
Go ahead.
if the trolls can infiltrate your gang Google Hangouts, then the FBI, MI5, all these other dudes can do the same thing, man. So I have to be careful around it.
Yes. Let's add paranoia to it as well. Kalam, yeah.
All right, no problem. I'm just gonna mark this down, but we'll move on swiftly, and let's go back into Gabs
Hold
and
on.
Buddha.
Mark this down, where, bro? Mark this
But
down.
no, it's just a mental note. Just a mental note that when we're off air, we can go back into this discussion and just make sure we we do our medicine work that we set out to do. Okay.
Can I
So we'll
ask
continue
Gab a
this
quick
later.
question about his mind, body, and spirit sort of
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, I was just wondering, kind of, what you think the difference is between, well, where you've explained what you think the difference is between the mind and the spirit, but I just wanted to get what you thought about this kind of, sort of thought experiment, if you were, like, if someone is in a car crash,
Yeah.
like, let's say, kind of, you have a car crash one day, or what's the word? A stroke. Yeah, a stroke's another good example. These are kind of injuries that can happen to your brain, which totally change your personality. Like one day you kind of like have this car crash or this stroke, and then the next day, like your family feel like they don't recognize you or that sort of thing. Like surely doesn't that show to you that kind of like what you'd think would be someone's spirit, like their personality or their soul, is actually just their mind, really, and physical things change your mind and change your personality permanently.
But that's my point, because that's the thing. If the spirit is something pure, remember the spirit before the spirit enters the body, the spirit doesn't know of accidents and all these things. Do you see what I'm saying? That the physical body and the mind goes through. The spirit is coming from a pure source. So once something as pure as the spirit that doesn't know these things comes into a physical body, and like you said, experiences these things in the body, because it's only in the body that the spirit's gonna have an effect on these things. Yeah, that's the only time it's gonna have effect, once it's in the body. So like you said, a stroke. Then you said people, from that moment on, people say, oh, he's changed since he's had that. There's something about him, because now your spirit has been infected by something in the physical world, by the body and the mind. Do you see what I'm saying? Something that was pure has now had trauma done to it. Do you see? The same way, like like a child, they say a baby's born pure, but the moment that child then has that explores with the body and touches fire, there's now an effect. There's a trauma that's happened that's affected that child. Different things that happen to children when they fall or lose a tooth, and all these different things that happen in their life is a experience that their pureness is been affected by. So
if we agree that like the spirit isn't kind of, it can be like permanently affected by sort of physical things happening to the body and the mind, kind of like in that sense we can't really say the spirit's eternal, or like what meaningful distinction can we draw between the spirit and the mind if we're acknowledging that the spirit can be affected by physical phenomena and trauma just like the mind or the body can be?
Let me can I jump in there just quickly and just view my point, if I may? I don't think the spirit is injured or changed in any way. I think the body, when it goes for a stroke or anything like that, doesn't know how to interpret the spirit as well as it did before it had the stroke. So I don't think it's the actual spirit being changed. I think it's the mind. So any injury to the mind or anything like that, change in personality, I will put down to the actual physical injury as opposed to the spirit being changed.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good point. And going back to what the brother was saying about, you said something about the spirit being eternal, and that's why I would say that people coming from a religious paradigm, they would have to say that the spirit is eternal, because remember, the spirit is the spark, and we don't get the spirit. The spirit enters into this whole frame from a spirit being, which is God. You know, God is the spirit. God is the eternal spirit. You know, which breathed life, which breathed life into the body that was made. Do you see what I'm saying? But obviously, you know, we have some of our brothers from the Muslim community. They don't believe that the spirit is eternal. They believe that the spirit obviously was created and then blown in. That's another. That's
Yeah.
another in there.
Say
But
something. Yeah. You know, I've also heard that you know, it might be an assumption, but like you have also the human spirit. That's like the different. It's different from the Holy Spirit. It's like we, and that's like a spirit that could be able to deceive ourselves. Like for example, you have this story that of you know that you are paralyzed, spiritually paralyzed in sleep, and people will give it an entity like an incubus or something, but other people will call it yeah, that you're paralyzed in your sleep,
yeah,
and
sleep paralysis. Yeah, go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it means that we need the Holy Spirit to feed our spirit. But this, I'm again, this might be an assumption, but I heard this. There is a human spirit as well. So
A human spirit.
it's hard to
Okay.
distinguish because we have different spirits. You got wicked spirits, you know, called demonic entities, Holy Spirit. You know, that's something to that's interesting to know and distinguish. All right, that's all.
Okay. Nah, and that's the thing, and that's the thing that I think I don't. Me personally, I don't. This whole demonic spirit thing, I don't know, because you know, if we're gonna say there's demonic spirits, we have to then go into who created these demonic spirits and where did the spirits come from, because ultimately we know where the spirits come from, especially if you're coming from a religious background.
Well,
The
the demonic
spirit.
spirits
Hold,
they
hold this.
created by themselves. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so hold on a sec. We from obviously from a religious paradigm, we know that all spirits have come from God. God is the one that created these spirits and blew them into men. So if we know that God is the one that created these spirits, yeah, created our spirits, human being spirits, and blew it into the man, are we now saying that that includes the demonic spirits as well? Or are we now going to say that a separate entity, yeah, created, or a demon or someone created evil spirits and also put that into man? Because now, if we're going to say that, that means we have two entities that are basically kind of similar on the same. They similar have the same power, because you have God who gives out the good spirits, who creates that and put that into human beings, and we have another entity who has the equal opposite power to God and created the evil spirits, like you're saying, and
No,
now has into the human beings. And
no,
now
no, no.
it's about,
You
there's a
get
battle between the
you
two.
make this creates confusion because if you get to the basic, God just created all entities, spiritual beings, and later He created human beings. But it's like the devil was never able to create something. But what he did create was himself being a rebel. That is called being a demon, being Satan, and all the angels that chose his side became demons. It's just a title, but they were angels prior to that. You know, it's just a different of state of mind that makes them demons instead of angels. That's actually the whole
No, but
difference.
that's my point. But hold on, sorry, that's my point.
Hold on.
Because
Gabs, wait, real quickly. All right, because we're literally reaching the hour mark right about now. Yep. And I only wanted this show to go on for an hour, to be honest with you. So what I'm gonna say is, yeah, can we carry on for like another 2 to 3 minutes, okay? And then change the subject to something different, completely different,
that's calm.
so we can have like a next, different type of varied conversations. Okay, so everybody, can I get you guys to have like quick, short, sharp, 30 seconds to a minute or tops responses to whatever is being proposed. Okay, let's get it. I want to hear everybody else speak. Let's get it.
All right, I just want to answer that brother's question quickly. I'll do it quickly then, yeah. But then what the brother just basically explained would then still go back to what I was saying, because look, if the spirit, like you said, the Satan can't create spirits, like you said, he can't create these spirits and put it in people. Only God can do this, yeah. So then now, if God is the one that's the creator of the spirits, and he's put that into the demons, like you said, and the human beings, but like you said prior, there was no demons; they were just angels, but the spirit that got put in them, you said now that Satan now rebelled. He did something different. He did something different. So God's put that spirit in him, but now he's now acted in a certain way. So prior to him acting in this way, his spirit, he was good. So then that will go back to my point saying that whatever spirit God put in must have been able, yeah, must have had the potential to do good and bad, that spirit. So God must have been the person who created the potentiality for someone who has the spirit to do good or bad. Hence why you had Satan, who had a spirit, who was good. They do say he was good at one point in time, but then in a particular time, he now rebelled, and then other good angels now followed suit and rebelled as well when they was good from the beginning. Did you get my point?
Okay. Can I
It's free
just
will.
respond?
That's free will.
Gabs, sorry, go ahead.
Was
Yeah,
I
in
allowed? I
relation-
just thought the topic was about it changed, but gaps. I won't say that's free will. What it changed actually. Even spiritual beings have the free will to choose, just like we human beings. But we can go on for that for another time, maybe.
Okay.
I think Kalam wants something else not to be discussed.
Sorry, can I just interject for 1 second in relation to what Gabs is saying? In Islam, so they don't believe in angels as having gone against God in any way, right? So it's a separate entity altogether. And now, in relation to the spirit, right? Whatever's, so we don't believe in the spirit, so to say. We say what the soul is. It's a energy source from the creator. Does that make sense?
Okay, the soul, yeah.
So it's not a it's sort of imagine, if you will, like putting petrol into a car, right? Car will not move without putting the petrol in, right? So the mind, the organs, the body that we use in this physical world, right, is powered by the source of energy, the soul, right? But the choices that we make, whether it's good or bad, is still within us. Now, in relation to the good and bad, spirits that you're talking about, or the devil, that's a separate creation itself, right? And Islam is very specific about that, right? It was a creation that was created before humans, right? So it was Satan who rebelled against God. He had free will. Angels, they only do God's biddings. They have no free will.
Okay,
Right?
can I ask you a question?
They're pure. Yeah, go ahead.
So Satan, just a quick one. So Satan, this person who rebelled, was he created evil, or did he
No, he
rebel
wasn't
out?
created evil. In fact, he was the most pious amongst his creations, which is why
Okay.
he was where the angels were.
Okay.
His
So
rank was raised.
okay, so that's basically my point. This this Satan wasn't evil at the beginning.
No, he wasn't.
It was a particular a particular thing happened which made him turn later on. So my point is,
that was based on decisions every single day, right? When you act rude to someone, or say like the trolls that interfered on the channel before, people make choices.
yes, but
right?
the, what I'm trying to say
your choices dictate the outcome.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you then, what I'm going to ask you, the choices that he made, the good choices that we make is good from God.
So what do you mean by?
So things that are good, is that from God? I just want to know.
No, that's purely from you.
Okay,
that's from you.
So God, so when we do good things, when we do good things, is that a human thing or not? Or is that not coming from God?
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean by your question. What do you mean?
So the ability to do good, is that from God? Did we inherit that from God?
Ideally, yes.
Okay. Now the
But
ability
not,
to
but,
do.
but it's not driven by God, if that's what you're trying to ask.
Okay. So the ability to do good comes from God, right? We
Yes.
inherited that from God. Okay. Now the ability to do bad came from where?
It also, yeah, but no, hang on. So that's a loaded question, though. You have to be very careful. You know,
Why
I do understand what you say.
I don't think it's really loaded. I just think it's simple.
No, I
If
do.
the
I do
ability,
understand. No,
if
but
the
you're
ability,
positioning the question in such a sense where you're saying like, you know, if all good came from God, then all bad must have come from
I'm
God.
not saying
So
that.
people cannot be blamed for
Let
their
me.
choices.
No.
The choice still is yours nonetheless.
I'm not saying that. I just want to say this quickly. If the ability to, you just answer my question good and fast. When I said to you, did we inherit where did the ability
It's
to
not.
do good come
Yeah,
from?
but it's not so much
Hold,
inherit.
hold on,
It's like it's
hold on a
your
second.
choices.
Hold on a second. The ability to do good, you said, come from God. So if we didn't get the ability to do good from God, we wouldn't even have the choice to be able to do something good. So now the ability to do something bad, I asked you, you said, well, that's a loaded question. You don't know.
No,
But
that's a
you can,
temptation from Satan, though. That's a
but wait,
temptation from Satan.
no, it can't come from Satan because remember, like you
No,
just
but
said,
you can't say it can't. I'm
no,
telling you my belief.
5
I'm gonna tell
seconds.
you, hold on, I'm gonna tell you why. Because you just said yourself that
I'm
Satan
trying to.
wasn't
You
bad.
have to.
You said Satan wasn't bad from the beginning. You
That's not
said
actually
he,
true.
No, I never said that. That's not what I said. No, I said Satan was the most pious of all, but based on an action that he made, right? He rebelled against God based on arrogance.
okay, so the action, so
But was it? Can I just stop you there? Was he good at all time? Because ultimately God knows what's in our hearts, right? But like the brother said, he was given free choice. Now
True.
the story of Satan is that he well, there's a difference of opinion, but generally speaking, he was a jinn. So and he was a great worshipper, and he worshipped so much that he was allowed in the company of the angels. But he did so because he knew God was going to have a vice regent, what we call the Khalif. And when he found out, he said, oh, you made me do it. God, he said to God, you made me do it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to rebel. He rebelled. He didn't want to bow down in prostration. So what do we see here? We see arrogance. Just as we see self-righteous people, on outwardly, they're very good, might be very pious, but only God knows what's in your heart.
Sarah,
So the question is, was he good all time? For me, no. He
I
had
just want to
something.
ask,
He had a disease in his heart.
hold on, no. Obviously,
Yes.
we know that Satan or whoever he was, yeah, was a created being, right? He was created, right? He wasn't always there,
Yes.
was he? Now,
No.
hold on. The ability to do good, yeah, and the ability to do bad. Let's deal with this. The ability to do good, the brother clearly said that come from God. So the ability to also do bad came from where? Because if you're saying to me that a created being created the ability to do bad, that it wasn't always there, now you're saying that this ability to do bad was created by this entity that was created.
No, Cabs, I think you
Okay,
missed the point. You missed the point.
You missed the
What
point,
the
my
brother
friend.
said was that he's God given us free will, yeah? And
Free,
we
okay,
all
free will to
okay,
do what?
yeah, that's fine.
But
But
the free will,
God creates circumstances.
hold on, sorry, person. I'll be quiet after this.
You
You see
said it
this?
was 2 minutes, and
Hold,
they've been gone for more than 2 minutes, and we're meant to change the subject.
hold on, Betty, hold
There's
on.
Let's have a
important
unity,
subjects
not
and
anonymity.
linking
One at a
file
time.
rooms that need to
Not
be
anonymity.
discussed as well.
2 seconds, Saracen. Just relax. 2 seconds,
That
2 seconds,
abuse
Betty.
young, vulnerable
Betty, 2
kids.
seconds. Saracen.
Yeah,
So
God.
the free, when you say someone has they have free will, yeah?
Yes.
Free will, yeah, means you have choice. Now, someone has given you a choice. So if someone's giving you a choice, that then there's a choice to either do good or do bad. Yes?
Yes.
I've now given you the choice to do good or do bad. It's down to you.
Yes.
Where did so the choices was created by who?
Okay.
Which is for you.
So you the choice, free will means that you choose, not
Yeah,
God chooses.
but who created
No,
it for
no.
you to have these choices?
What you're saying is what the circumstances. So, for example, the environment where you are, if there's a knife, if there's a gun, this, that, the other,
No,
that's there.
No, sorry.
ultimately,
Forget the environment. No, forget the environment and gun. Let's go back to the source. Yeah, because right now God is good. God has now created human beings to have free will, to make choices. So He's known this before we was created.
Yes.
Now, if He know He was going to give us choices, obviously He would have known that there's bad and good prior to creating us. Yes.
Yes.
So then now, if He's given us the free will to decide if we want to take from the good, which we're saying good comes from God, but also the bad must have come from somewhere. It couldn't have come from the Satan because he was created and he had a choice. He had free will. So I want to know, he acted upon his free will to do bad. So the choices that he had, the good and the bad, and he decided to go on that. Who gave us these choices?
Okay.
Where did it come from?
So God has created good and God has created evil.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
God is created.
Yeah, but hang,
Thank
but
you.
we choose it. But we choose
Yes,
it. We
yes,
choose.
that's fine.
Yeah, so, but we
that's my
can't
point.
blame. We
No,
can't
no.
blame God.
We can't. No, I'm
blame.
not. I'm not saying we can't blame.
Yeah.
What I was basically trying to get to, my main point I was trying to get to, is just to show you that the creator of good and evil
Yes.
is ultimately God, but we decide.
Correct.
absolutely. Yeah. If that's what you're saying, I agree
with
as
you.
well, man.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Should we change this? Should we let Betty change the subject?
I don't agree at all.
I think we
you
all
know,
agree.
Gabs, we have to talk about things. We need to change topics now, man. I would still want to talk, but let's jump. That's another.
All right, we can switch it up. Go, let people go. We got there at the end. Cool.
All right, sure. All right, Betty, come in.
Yeah, I want to talk about elite paedophile rings, and I want to talk about the fact that many children are getting abused, and it's
Kalam,
not
I'm
being.
coming. I'm not listening to no pedophiles and little kid stuff. I'll be back here. I'm at mute.
Right, I want to talk about it because unfortunately, this is a big issue in the UK, and it's not just the UK; it's around the world. There's a guy called Hassan Campbell, and he was abused by African Bambaataa in the music industry in America. He has a very good channel, and obviously, right now in the UK, people are aware of paedophile rings due to the Muslim grooming gangs in Rotherham and stuff like that. But when you go and you research it, and if you go to Women's Hour on BBC Radio, one of the ladies was talking about how one of the Muslim guys that was abusing her got away with it because he was providing children for the police. So paedophile rings is a general problem in the country. This is why many of these gangs were able to get away with it, because there were people in positions of power that were also paedophiles. And people have heard of Jimmy Savile and stuff like that. And I think it's just really important that we talk about it. When you look at the age of consent in this country, you find out that it was raised due to child prostitution. 13-year-old girls were being sold for £5. There was a lady called Joseph Elizabeth Butler, and these girls were being trafficked to the Netherlands. This is the history of Britain. France didn't even have an age of consent. Yeah, and a lot of people don't seem to understand this. France does not have an age of consent, and now they're trying to change it to 15. So would anyone like to speak to this? Any solutions?
Yeah, a lot of movements that tried to solve it. Like in Holland, you have this guy called Steve Brown, and he really is after those political bastards that are pedophiles. But they also trying to find connections to get more empowerment. I think it's a good start, but these people are unfortunately are so powerful. I don't know what to say about this.
Is anybody bothered? Thank you so much for contributing. But is anybody else that's bothered?
I
Because
think
this is
we
a big,
are.
massive
I think
problem.
I think everyone's bothered, Betty. But I think we were talking about free will, and we were talking about the concept of good and evil, and now we just switched to pedophiles. So I'm still trying to get my head around it, man. I'm being honest.
Same here.
But
Someone jump in.
those are like, I heard that in these circles, they like really satanic as well. Like they use these children for satanic sacrifices. As far as I'm concerned, like also other people that don't believe in, you know, in entities like Satan or whatever, they clearly have these symbols, and you know people can see that they have some sort of pattern of rituals they do, especially when you get into these interviews, how they describe them, and you see them back, like also like in MTV, you know, people that became pop stars and what they have to do before they become stars, and stuff you can see being referent to that, and also the links again with pedophilia, and yeah, it is, it's a worldwide tragedy. You better be aware like how much it affects people in people's homes, from young children, and also the people to become the parents becoming more feeble and more, you know, allowing it more and more, like, oh, we have to go with the flow with the society, because you know, yeah, I agree with that, Betty.
I think the other thing is, it's such a big topic, Betty. It's so big. I think this topic in itself needs a show. I don't know what you think, but I think that, you know, we need to have a full discussion maybe on the show. Um, so I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Betty?
Yeah, I would like a full discussion and stuff like that. And there are many different layers to it. Like you said, they do these child sacrifices. There's many disgusting things that are done to children and teenagers. You know, talking of raping kids on camera, filming it and killing them. You know, this is what they call snuff movies.
Sick,
There's a
it's
lot of
sick, it's sick, sick,
sick
sick.
things that are done.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely, it's absolutely disgusting. I wanted to speak to James. Is he still on the panel? I'm not sure if he is, because he had a discussion with Paul at Speaker's Corner, and I'm not sure he got the right answers, or you know, but I'm not sure if James is still on the panel. I've been dying to speak to him for some time. Sorry, Betty.
No, you can carry on. I'm just saying that, you know, because it's child abuse, sexual abuse, many people don't want to hear about it, or they're too scared, or they can't cope with it. Almost like people can't cope with the truth. But the only way these Muslim gangs could have got away with it is because it happens with the native population. I would recommend that you go on to BBC Radio Women's Hour to hear the testimonies of the Rotherham girls, and they will clearly tell you that these Muslim men were helping the police procure children. Yeah, that's how it goes, very high up. That's how Jimmy Savile got away with it. All those little pedos, all those sickos, because they get people in powers of position.
I think there's another thing as well, that there is, unfortunately, a lot of people see, like, the police or the authorities see people as an underclass. So if you come from a certain class of people and you complain, you make a complaint, often it's ignored, or it's seen as not significant, or that person, that's their lifestyle, and that shouldn't be allowed. We should all have equal treatment in front of the law, and I think that was another factor that was part of that. So yeah, you're absolutely right, and you know, there is a social class dimension to this whole subject. We know, for example, in the 70s there was actually a move within the UK to legalize pedophilia. Absolutely, you know, I mean, I was shocked when I read this, but you had people like Harriet Harman, who was who's recently departed, God bless her soul, who supported this, and she got caught up and she apologized at the end of her life. But you know, this was a very high level kind of thing. But I don't know whether this is a too heavy a subject at this time to speak about. But I agree with you. But we need to have these discussions.
But it's like, it is a heavy subject, but it's after 12 o'clock and all the kids should be in bed. But the the paedophile exchange, I think it's a paedophile information exchange.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And
Yeah, if I can just say, I agree with the both of you. This is not something that, you know, just sort of popped up. It's been happening it's been happening and been pushed under the rug for a long while, and it's generally the ones in power as well. You hear about politicians, priests, and it's unfortunately it's something that it's the wider community sort of have to get together, right? It's not something that we could sort of protest as individuals or come up with solutions. It's much bigger than that, I believe, on a global scale. But I mean, yeah, it's demonic, it's disgusting, it's been happening.
Yeah, this is it. It is such it's a tragic thing, and it's being abused as a child can really destroy a child's life and stuff like that. But even if we start going into governments and I don't know if anyone's heard of the IRA and what they were accused of doing in terms of paedophilia and how
Yeah.
governments are using this to blackmail people. So they will
Hmm.
film a politician, someone in a position of power, and then
Yep.
into little boys, as if there's a BBC documentary when you'll see a very what I would call upper class white men talk about, well, he was into little boys and we would use that against him. So he's talking about teenage boys.
Hmm.
I think he was a conservative whip. So it's almost like, I think the more you delve into it, the sicker it gets. And if you hear the testimonies of these adults, men and women, a long time I used to only think it was girls and women getting abused until I started hearing the testimony of men to the point where I felt like physically being sick.
Can I ask you a question then, Betty? I'm an advocate of Christian values in this country. I think that we used to have some very fine. It wasn't perfect, but generally, because I work with a lot of elderly people, they talk about a sense of community. Going to the church on a Sunday, people knew each other, people got married back then. I know that there was obviously some very bad stuff that happened within Christianity, but I'm talking about generally the community. You had people who looked after people, weren't put in care homes, people weren't addicted to drugs as much, the crime rates were lower. I could go on and on. Depression rates weren't as high. Now, I'm an advocate of Christian values in this country. I think it works perfectly in Europe, and for me as a Muslim, I advocate a lot of them as well, especially the ones of love, tolerance, etc. Don't you see this as another symptom, the growth of paedophilia, the growth of all of these vices that I've just said? Do you see it linked to aggressive atheism that we're getting, this militant atheism that we're getting, where God is always bad, there is no objective morality, etc.? So what's your thoughts on that, panel?
I think, bro. Sorry. I think it's as it says in the scriptures, man. It's like, I don't know. I have a thought probably different to other people, but it's nearing. A lot of the prophecies and stuff have been fulfilled in all scriptures, and from what I see is times are a lot more darker. It's not necessarily just atheism. People just disowning God, but it's crime rates all-time high. It's mental illness is at an all-time high. The foods we consume, this has been happening for ages. So the only way to address the problem is if we sort of look back, right?
But don't you feel like, if you feel right, this is, I mean, I know atheists bash God, and they don't believe there is. They call it fairy tales, etc. If you know and you generally believe that there's a God, you know there's a higher power, what have you, and you know that there is a day of judgment. You know there's a time where you're going to have to stand in front of your Lord, answer those questions. You know that there's a heaven and a hell, whatever way it is. That definitely produces a sense of individual responsibility. and stuff. Whereas
Certainly.
atheism, under atheist rules, and it's as we see atheism growing in this country, we're seeing a lot of more. As I mentioned, depression rates have gone through the roof. Mental health has increased.
Yeah.
Old people are left around. Pedophilia is increasing. Abuse. You've seen breakdown of families, and it is getting worse. And we hear a lot of religion bashing and what have you, but we don't really hear about the effects of atheism. It's often very seen as very cool, especially amongst the upper middle class, but we don't really see the other side of it.
Harrison, but
Yeah.
what you're saying there, sorry, I just want to answer that question, because what you're saying there, that doesn't make no sense to me, because the thing is, though, these people, they don't know that there's going to be a judgment day, and they don't know that there's going to be a lake of fire, and they don't know if they're going to go to a place called heaven. Hence why they do all these things, because if people did know for sure, like you said, knowing, which is knowledge, if they had the knowledge knowing that this thing was certain for sure, like you said, people wouldn't be doing these things. But where no one has actually gone there, come back and seen this, hence why you have all craziness going on.
I get that, Gabs. Well, all right, let me put it a different way. What if people just believed it? Like in the past, people believed it, right?
No,
Whether
let me give you an example, yeah? So, like, my nephew and his friends that go around doing, madness, they don't know. Do you know what I mean? They don't know that there is a heaven and there's a hell. They're not atheists. They don't even care about all that stuff. They don't know. If they knew that there was a heaven and if they knew there was an actual God, like you said, they know for certain. I'm telling you, they wouldn't do the things that they do. But whereas they don't know that this thing is true. They just hear people talking about it because it's a belief and faith. Yeah, they can go around and do the things they do. Hence why they go around. You see kids going around doing these killings and doing all kinds of stuff because they don't know. So it's not really. You
that's
can't
my
really.
point. But that's my point, Gabs. That's my point. Can you see my point?
Knows.
Can I just say that, when you start saying that atheism and paedophilia and all this type of abuse has increased due to atheism, I don't believe that, because the fact of the matter is, it's not been an atheist or secular country that long, and this was rampant. This type of abuse was rampant. Read the history of Western Europe and what they were up to. It's rampant, and they claim to be very religious, but they were abusing kids and adults, all types of disgusting things that would be
I
done.
would say under Christian rule, when our country used to be Christian, I'm not saying that there wasn't bad stuff that happened, but I would say a lot of the things that we're seeing a complete meltdown in society. And I work very closely on grassroots level. We're seeing underclasses, we're seeing so much has happened, why I'm saying we're seeing a slow, steady decline. And you can blame it on the immigrants, you can blame it on the Muslims, you can blame it on what have you, the aliens, whoever. But the reality is that there is a component of a lack of God. A lack of whether you believe it, whether you believe God or not. No. Whether you believe God exists or not. This is the thing. If you believe it, you might not know. But if you do believe it, there is this. You kind of feel inside that I don't need to do all of these things.
No, but the thing is, the fact of the matter is, Western Europe has been Christian for more than 1,000 years, and there was child abuse, paedophilia, rampant. 100 years ago, 60 years ago, it would be very hard for someone to come and say that they've been abused, been sexually abused. It was swept under the carpet. It'd be very hard for someone to say the priest, the vicar abused them. And it'd be even harder if a man had said that. The courage that it takes to say that you've been abused on TV. The courage that Hassan Campbell, that man in America, who was abused by African Bambaataa, one of the pioneers of hip-hop, and is being told that he liked it because he was 12 and he's been castigated.
I'm being deliberately provocative because we're obviously having a discussion show. So I'm not saying that there wasn't this stuff that happened in the past. What I'm saying is that we're seeing, since we've left the Christian values of this country, we're seeing far more a breakdown of society. And if you don't agree, can you tell me your reasons why?
No.
I actually agree with you, Saracen. Yeah, it's the moral compass in society, in the fabric of society, has completely deteriorated, and it's interesting enough as well. An interesting trend, actually. If you observe atheists, right? You know, if it's not simple for them just to say God does not exist. They actually try and enforce and get rid of all religion. If you haven't noticed, you know, from being taught anywhere, right?
Nah. Sorry.
Um,
Sorry to cut you,
and I
bro.
see
Can I
this,
just say
and I
something
s-
quick?
and,
Sorry to cut you. I just want to say something quickly. In
yeah,
any
go
of
ahead.
those, if any of them Abrahamic religions, yeah, is there
Yeah,
any
man.
law against sleeping with underage kids? Can you
Is
answer that? Yes or no?
there?
Huh?
Sir, repeat that again for me.
Is there any laws in any of those Abrahamic religions about
Yeah.
sleeping with kids under a certain age?
Oh, you mean underage kid? No.
Okay, so there you go. There's the problem right there. Hence why, because I've
That
heard.
that doesn't mean that there isn't a punishment,
Hold
Gabs.
on. No, hold on. Because I've heard brothers that come to the Speakers Corner Park, and I've heard
Yeah.
the debate. When this whole debate comes on about, the debate comes on about this whole thing to do with Aisha and the age and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard Muslim brothers saying that, back then, young kids wasn't like how they are today.
No,
It
no, no,
was.
no. I think there's a
You see what I'm
misunderstanding with
saying?
that,
Hold on.
my brother.
I'm
There's a
just trying to show.
misunderstanding with
Hold
that.
on, wait, because I just want to show you it's mindsets like that when people are thinking that kids back there was some sort different.
No, no, no.
They
But
were
there's a
built different.
misunderstanding, man. You need to get your facts
No,
right.
no,
You
I'm
know,
just telling. No, but what
just
I'm
talking
trying
to
to tell
people
you.
at a park.
No,
Huh?
listen to what I'm saying. But I have to go by
I'm
my
hearing what
experience.
you're saying.
Listen to what I'm saying. I have to go by my experience and what people are saying. If a majority of people that I'm interacting with who are saying that they're religious and they follow a certain religion are saying that kids back then was different. Oh, it was different. The age of consent was different back then. It's not like today. Yeah. Then and there's no law, like you just said, on the age of sleeping with kids. Why do you think so? Now you're going to complain and think, well, I'm wondering why these things is happening in the world with underage, with big men and little kids. Come on,
No,
there
no,
was no
no.
law.
That's completely different, man.
See what I
First
mean?
of
No,
all,
Okay,
different. Don't
okay,
just throw that out of the way.
Hold tight, family tree, real quickly. Just to say, I'm going to be shutting on the show in roughly like 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, 7 to 10 minutes. Sorry, right, I got pure gas. What that means is we can continue this show off air. Family members, let me know if you've actually been enjoying the show so far. But unfortunately, one does need to get their beauty sleep. Like I don't know if you've seen my face. It takes a lot of rest, yeah, to upkeep this face. Okay, so we're gonna be shutting down in minutes. So let's get all of your questions in. Let's get all of your comments in, and let's really have fun for the last 10 minutes of the show, okay, family? And let's respect each other as well. All right. So please, everybody get it in. Peace.
Yo, Gabs, you see in the Quran, Surah chapter 4, verse 6, it says about the woman has to reach a marriageable age. Balaghu al-nikah, marriageable age. That's in Surah 4, verse 6.
What's the marriable age? What's the marriable age? What does it say? What age that is?
Balagh means Yo, Saras, what does balagh mean, man?
Bro, you know what the reality is? There is no age, according to a lot of the scholars in Islam. Unfortunately, that's the reality.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, people will make stuff. But there's even some scholars within our Hanbalis that believe that you can get married to prepubescent girls. That's the reality, bro.
Exactly.
And I think that's disgusting. And I think as Muslims, we need to condemn it. Fortunately, Gabs, you are right. You got a very valid point in what you're saying, and we have to acknowledge when someone's got a valid point and stuff. We don't say Islam stays static. Obviously, the Quran stays static, but the meanings of the Quran, the people with wisdom, the people who can interpret, the people can see the deeper meanings of the Quran. There's always been those people. They're the ones that drive hukam. So where laws, for example, hudud, cutting off the thief, we changed that in modern times and stuff. Absolutely. So where there was certain laws, perhaps punishment for those who did stuff with kids in the past, and we absolutely reject the stupid hadith about Aisha being so young. We'll go through that another time. There's 10, 15 counter evidences that says she was much stronger, but people have used that hadith to abuse kids. That's the reality. And when non-Muslims question us, we shouldn't really be surprised about that. I've moved the conversation completely different, but yeah, I suppose it's linked to all of that. And it's not to say religious people haven't had a problem with that. They've almost justified it, unfortunately. And that's not me supporting. I have to clarify this. That's not me supporting atheists or Christians and stuff. I'm just pointing out what was wrong in our history, because all of this came from scholars who interpreted through their fallible brains in a certain way, and their interpretations were wrong. If abuse is abuse and it's wrong, whenever it is. That's my understanding.
So wait, I'm confused. Are you saying that Islam, allows?
I'm saying, having researched this quite a bit in recent years, if you look at some of the opinions of especially the Hanbali school, like Qatada, who was one of the,
I
he
agree with you in
actually
the sense
says,
where there's differentiating, thoughts. But what I'm asking you is there anywhere in Islam where it promotes, underage, like pedophilia, so to say?
well, it depends on what you mean by Islam, like,
I mean the actual texts and
so if people believe that hadith in Bukhari where Aisha was 6 and she got married and entered the house with the Prophet when 9 and she had dolls, well, I think the answer is quite obvious. We don't believe that hadith. We think it's nonsense and blasphemous.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I think as a Muslim
beautiful.
community, we have to condemn that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
unfortunately, some of the brothers in Speaker's Corner, they'll defend that till they die. Why? Because it's in Bukhari.
Yeah, because they're ill-equipped, man. This is what I was trying to tell Gabs, right? Gabs, my brother, I understand what you were saying completely, yeah? Islam does not promote this. And some of the guys you speak to on Speaker's Corner, they don't know what they're talking about. They're chatting shit, right?
Yeah.
So they get into defense mode rather than sort of acknowledge what you're saying and sort of meet it.
But you know it is. I wasn't even saying. But that's the thing. I wasn't even saying that it promotes it and that you're gonna find text. I don't.
No. I know. And I didn't say you were saying that. What I was trying to get to was don't listen to just any opinion of.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I think what I was basically saying was, and this is the question that was answered. I said, is there any laws in any of these religions that condemn that? And everybody said, well, somebody said no, there is no laws on it. And then one of the one of the other Muslim brothers said, something about puberty, but then Cyrus quickly shut that whole thing down, because he had some research on that. So what I'm trying to say is there's nothing condemning it, and there's nothing saying that it's right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand you.
Can I make a statement about sexual child abuse and all this stuff? Can I make a statement that said, regardless of somebody's religion, if somebody wants to abuse children, they're going to do it.
They're going to do it, yeah.
They don't care about religion. There's plenty of priests, etc., that are high positions that abuse children. They didn't care about their religion. They stuffed it and threw it when it came to abusing kids. So let's not make religion an excuse.
No, that's partly true.
One moment, can you check out a lady called Josephine Butler, who campaigned to raise the age of child consent due to what they say prostitutes at the age of 12, the sex slavery of young women and children from England to the continent for the purpose of prostitution. This is a long tradition of abusing kids in this country. And please check out the UK column because they discuss it a lot more. Thank you.
The problem is, Betty, there is certain texts, if a text, which is the second most holiest book in our religion, basically says something that our Prophet is apparently done. And then you've got 1.6 billion followers, many are largely ignorant. They read that text, they think, oh, the best of our example has done it. It's okay to marry kids. It's all right to get married at 7 to 9 years old. Yeah, that's the problem, Betty. Then you've got the Wahhabi Salafi movement, who are very vocal, who control a lot of the, especially now they're moving into places like Africa, Indonesia, where you have new communities, and they're telling you, yeah, it's fine, you can do it. Who cares what what man-made law says? You know, we follow God's law, the Sharia. You know, it's nonsense. And it gives our religion, it gives our prophet a bad name. It puts us in disrepute. And the problem is our you know, very good, naive Muslims don't know how to counteract it. So, and the problem with what you find in Gabs as well, like people like myself, and there's a lot of other really good, smart Muslim people like Joe. Speaker's Corner is below us, bro. There's too many dumb people there. Like this, the level of discourse is so low that you don't even want to go there, because these are the sort of idiots that will go down to stalk your Facebook, contact your family, your work, this, that, the other, you know. And then we have to come from time to time, but you won't hear our voices as much. That's the problem.
Me too.
By the way, Saracen, are you going to be at Speaker's Corner this Sunday?
I doubt it, James. I really sincerely
Oh,
doubt it. There's
You
probably put a fatwa on me or made a video already.
okay. Well, we need to have a talk sometime, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
All right, family tree. On that note, Saracen, for holding it down for the Muslim community. Give thanks to all of my, my intelligent Muslims that have come on today to really share their opinion, share their wisdom, and come on here to just have a nice, enjoyable conversation with us. Like, we respect you for that and love you for it as well. You make up our community. So, family, I'm gonna go sleep. I mean, I've been sleeping, but I'm gonna go sleep properly now. And hopefully we can continue this conversation off air. I'm not too sure if there's any room at all for you guys to join, but of course the link is in the description box, so please click it and just keep on clicking it if you really want to come in. Hopefully somebody will jump out by that time. So yeah, family, if I can get you guys to hit the like button before we close out. Don't forget to hit the like button and share it everywhere as possible. And, leave me some, feedback. Let me know how you actually enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed the show. And, what topics did you enjoy? Like, and, who would you like to hear more from that's already on the panel? You dig? Like, give us some nice constructive feedback. Family, I'm out. Peace and love. I'll see you guys on the other side. Oh man. Young Cali, baby, young